What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and this is Matt from Avenged Sevenfold. Hey,
how's it going?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You're a big old star, big old rock star walking around our office.
I guess so.
He's here, of course, to be on Up at Noon. You can catch it the Monday of E3. You're here to talk about your game. Hail
Yes.
to the King.
Yep.
Coming to a whole bunch of devices. Watch Up at Noon. That's where we'll talk all about it. But it turns out you're a huge Zelda fan.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting that from you. What's your favorite Zelda?
Why were you not expecting that?
Because you're a rock and roller. You're supposed to be all like, I love chicks, blah, and like, no, games. This is a body for games with the tattoos and stuff. That's a body built just to be a goddamn rock star Adonis.
Thank you.
But, what's your favorite Zelda?
My favorite Zelda would have to be Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
Only because that got me. That's when it took it to a whole new level. But
right?
I really love Skyward Sword as well. Just beat the. It's long and I like that.
Okay.
I like that it takes a lot of time. I don't
Sure.
like trying to rush through it. I like really trying to do everything you can do in those
take your
games.
time,
And it
find
took
out
me
the
60, 70 hours to do everything.
Nice.
That's before hero mode.
Yeah.
I had a good time with that.
All
I
right.
enjoyed it, even though it was a lot of traveling back and forth and going to the same places, but it was still cool to me.
Yeah. Okay, so, Matt, here's the big thing. Is that we have this screenshot of what an HD brand new Zelda would look like.
Yeah.
They've talked about that at E3 this year, that yes, you will get something for Zelda, Wii U, finally an HD Zelda that's brand new. Of course, there was, the Wind Waker remake. I want to know, what do you want out of this announcement? What do you want out of the HD Zelda?
Well, first off, I'm a huge believer in the game just has to be fun. So I don't really, being in HD or not in HD, it's cool visually, but a lot of games visually are very aesthetically pleasing, but they don't really make it there in terms of gameplay.
Sure.
What I've always liked about Zelda is the puzzles.
Yeah.
And so as long as the puzzles are there, the game's big, it takes a long time to beat, there's a lot of side missions and things you can do, and a good story. That's all I really care about. It's great that it's going to be in HD. But to me, I just hope they stay true to what they've always been.
So then, okay, so here's the thing. You keep talking about a great story. Do you want them to completely go new? Do you want a sequel to Majora's Mask? Do you want it to be the same old Zelda, and I put it in quotes, the same old Zelda story we've seen so many times, or something that's completely different? Not, oh man, I need a wood sword and a fairy.
Well, I've always really appreciated how much they've jumped around the story, and every game's been completely different in that terms, like what this game happened before that one, or that one happened here. I've always liked that. I trust them to do the right thing. Okay. I always enjoy certain things about Zelda. You always have to find the weapon that you're going to use in that particular dungeon. Yeah. I like that whole aspect of it. If they change that up too much, I trust them, but at the same time, that's what I love about Zelda. And that's why, I can't say that I would be not disappointed if they changed all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so here's the big question. If they're changing a whole bunch of stuff, what if Link talks?
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, you can't. What if they need to mature as directors and game makers and all these things?
I don't think you need to, because I think all that stuff, new mechanics in games and bigger, better graphics don't make a better game. To me, it equals the same as when you see a huge blockbuster movie, but there's no soul to it.
Yeah.
To me, I like imagining what Link would sound like. And I don't want someone to tell me what he sounds like. To me, that's our inner child. That's Link, he can be you when you're playing him, but as soon as he's got a voice like, hey, what's up? You're gonna be like, oh, that's what Link sounds like? After all these years, we know I'm not into that.
Okay. I guess it kind of makes sense, right? You just don't want to, it's too late, right? I feel like we've gone too long
I think so.
investing our own emotions in what he should say and what he should
think so. It's like if you heard you kind of hear what Mario sounds like. He says a couple things, but I like that aspect where they make little noises and you know they're talking, but I don't want to hear.
Well, I mean, with Mario, right? They made that jump at 64. Here's his voice, and we knew his voice, and it was like, okay, that's fine because we'd stepped into that 3D world. We've had so many 3D Zeldas.
Link still does when he gets hit. Yeah, he has a couple little things, but I appreciate what they do. I don't think that you need to have a character talking to necessarily go into that next generation.
All right, final question then about what would happen with the Wii U Zelda. How do you want to see the Gamepad used?
I like what they do with Wind Waker. I like how all of your items are on the pad, and then I like how, everything else, you don't really have to go to a pause menu or a pause screen. You're kind of just, as if you were in real life, you're able to grab whatever you want just right there. I enjoyed that. So as long as they stick to that formula, I'm totally cool with it. And I like, I didn't like this about Skyward Sword, flying everywhere.
No.
But I liked going back to a D-pad and going to a controller or the joysticks.
I have to imagine that they've gotten that message. I think
right?
so.
That was pretty funny though. I mean, I'm a 32-year-old man, but at the time, 30 years old in my living room doing this all day. It's a little weird.
A little weird. We didn't like that, though. Well, Matt, thank you so much. Of course, everybody, you can catch him on Up at Noon, the Monday of E3. When's your game come up? Hail to the King.
Hopefully in July.
Hopefully in July. You can hear all about it on Up at Noon. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments what you want to see out of a Wii U Zelda. And then keep coming back here to IGN for everything about cool video games like his.